Hiya, and welcome back to Password, the game that teaches us that all the characters are built like a food. Dave is built like a baked bean, Haas is built like a plate of mashed potatoes. Sal is built like a fucking watermelon. Dean is built like a fucking baked steak. God damn it, now I want baked steak. Anyways, let's just hop right in. Haas had been a solid friend from the moment he came into my life. But being at the mansion had shown me just how much we'd kept from each other. Maybe it was just an expectation that someone else would have told him about Dad, because I sure hadn't. No surprise he was confused and offended that I wasn't opening up about it. Okay, bitch. Oh, hi, Ty. Hell, started before dinner with Host coming to find me to bitch about you. He really did that? Well, maybe not like that, but I had to take him down to the gym so he'd shut up. Went at it for a while in the punching bag, really letting loose about how you were keeping him in the dark about shit. Not intentionally. Bullshit, you didn't tell him about your dad. It's hard, you know that. He's your fucking friend. Where he's going, you might end up being mine too, so you better tell him eventually. I whined, rolling my shoulders in a half-hearted attempt to get away, but he held me there. But he's not pressuring you then. Well, I got something that might help. Huh? Ah, shit. We're going to tell the pretty boy. Are we going to tell the pretty boy? What? Nothing, just... Haas shook his head, shrugging. Fine, keep your secrets. With how fast Haas cut and Dean flinched, looking between us quickly. Hey, that's a bit rough, isn't it? His only reply came in the form of another shrug. Alone? That's what I was planning, yeah. Haas went to say something else, but then just decided to shake his head, backing down. This is going... This is going to be so fucking awkward. It's going to be so awkward. But it was hard to know what exactly to feel when it came to Haas in particular. Everyone else had found out about Dad either by being around when it happened, or in Dean's case, having been told by Orlando by accident. Part of me wishes that Tyson had just told him so I didn't have to, but I figure that would also probably make things worse if it wasn't me that came clean about it. Haas was nice, very much the kind of friend that I got along well with, given he was a more active Orlando, and I respect him for that. Even if he was a bit over the top sometimes. He knew how to have fun, and it was a nice distraction for me. I owe you an apology, Haas. What the fuck is going on with my microphone? What the fuck is going on with my microphone? Sighing out, I rolled my shoulders. Sniffing the air, I tried to catch a whiff of his main bomb. Not that I had a chance of doing so all the way out here. Then he will tell us his sad backstory, and then they will bang because they have sad backstories. Ah, shit. Do they actually? But the scent, much like Haas, put me at ease and reminded me of a happier time and place. I just wish I could get back there someday. Hi, Benson. I just remembered that I have the Simpsons movie playing on mute. Not the time, but I do have the Simpsons movie playing on mute right now. Okay, do we want to reread the whole chocolate cake scene? Okay. Pay him no mind, Master Dave. This is just Master Oswin sourcing his own breakfast. He straightened, setting a colorful box on the counter and sighing out. That boy's lucky there was another box. Perhaps this is a sign that you should leave the children cereal for. The children, sir? I'm a grown man! And if I want sugar cereal for breakfast, then I'll be damned if I can't make that decision freely. But what about your teeth? Or eggs? Eggs? And he does have a point, sir. Scrambled eggs is something manageable. Chocolate cake. Chocolate cake? You're not having chocolate cake for breakfast. Why not? Do you really think that's an appropriate meal choice for first thing in the morning? Why, glad you asked, Benson. I do. Really? Why? I thought cake was for dessert or whatever. Be that as it may, sir. I am not making you chocolate cake for breakfast. Then, sugar cereal? But now we're back to scrambled eggs, right? Did you want eggs, Master Dave? So that scene is beautiful. The whole Jack thing. Forgot about that. Hiya. At this point, it's just a lot of skipping. Fucking right. Double bacon cheeseburger and Benson, Benny boy. Nah. Hand holder. That's Benson's nickname. Hand holder. Because otters, whenever they sleep, they hold hands so they don't drift away. And they also have shiny rocks that they use as currency, and it's adorable. I knew about the jammer, but Haas hadn't fixed it. That means someone else had fixed it, or was there another? Or was this just some freak cell phone outage? Ah, shit, that's right. Scene. It fucking hurts. And I know Haas is going to stop the skip. At this point, we're just speedrunning. I feel bad. Grind. So, I guess I know what you'd been keeping buried now, huh? My gaze dipped to the floor and quietly I mumbled my reply. Yeah, sorry that it took this long for you to find out. He sighed, shifting how he was sitting, looking uncomfortable. Now that I know what it is, I can't blame you. Hearing it from Dyson, seeing you just break like that was kinda scary. If Ty weren't around, I don't know if I'd even still be here. You can't mean... When Dad died, I guess I mostly just gave up because it was easier than just accepting what had happened. First week I spent it nearly entirely in my room, huddled in the corner. Probably wouldn't have bathed unless Tyson dragged me in there and washed me himself. You really went that far? I mean it when I said Tyson was a good person. Maybe he just didn't want me to forget things, or maybe he was keeping himself busy, I just don't know. The way you talk about him almost makes him sound like a boyfriend. At least that's what I would have thought if he didn't just straight up call you a brother. Honestly, I don't really know anymore. All I know is that he's special to me, and I think that's good enough. Haas nodded slowly. Well, I'm not sure if you saw the note, but... I did, yeah. It was nice. Still not sure how I feel, but I'm lighter now, I guess. Maybe now that he'd found a friend in Haas, that mean they'd both stick around. Maybe I'd see more of Haas because of it. My mind turned to school and how Haas showing up one day made everything more exciting. Maybe it was because of the first time we crossed paths, or maybe it was because Anime Club was a lot more energetic with him around. From sitting in my bed to sitting at one of the school desks, I looked around at the familiar side of the room we used for Anime Club from time to time. But you enjoyed it! I did, yeah. Maybe not at first, but I think it was just so different to begin with. Hiya. Even making you dance? I didn't mind, although I remember Orlando being constantly out of breath. Oh, hiya. Breath whenever you wanted us to do the group stuff. And the cosplay. I didn't mind that too, although it's still something that I don't quite understand. Almost seems like I won't get a chance to now. Oh noes, yeah, hiya. Yeah, youch. I didn't mind that too, although it's still something that I don't quite understand. Almost seems like I won't get a chance to now. You sure there's not a more important thing on your mind? Like what? Like if the kiss meant anything. Did it? When has anything been that clear cut between the two of us? Before we arrived, I didn't think you could even be into guys, or that you had a bunch of secrets about your past you've been keeping from us. You had your secrets too, Dave. Secrets that you seem to keep from me as well, despite everyone else apparently knowing. I didn't mean to, Hoss. It's just hard, you know? For what it's worth, I'm sorry. You should probably apologize to the real me instead of just a dream version, though. Oh, and if you're going to ask did I get that guy, oh, well, Dyson happened. That's all I'm going to say. Why is the lion sad? Isn't he always sad? I don't fucking know. I watched him get closer to the desk I was sitting at, planting his hands for support near the edge and leaning closer to my face. They are. Also, hiya. My heart seemed to flutter in my chest and I gulped, finding myself leaning forward as well, barely inches from his face. Before I could kiss him, he faded away, soon with him the rest of the room. Oh, hi, Oswin. With a frown, I scratched my chin. Was it really alright to be watching a movie at this time? Okay, well, I'm down for a movie. Sure, then let's do a movie, and if Dave wants to join us, he can. I turned to look at Haas, thinking back to the dream I'd had. If he was going to be watching a movie, then talking to him might need to wait. But how long could a movie go for anyway? Sure, I was curious about whether or not he'd be sticking around, or at the very least keeping in contact with Tyson after the month was up. But a lot of that was for selfish reasons. Dave, if you decide you want to watch a movie later, you're welcome to join us. You're joining us, Sal? Thank fuck for that, because I thought I'd be in for another day of anime. Excuse you? Nothing wrong with watching anime for a whole day again. Not everyone likes anime like you do. Like we do, you mean? Have you told Dave yet how you're a fellow weeb? Sal's Flat Fuck Friday. That is Sal's nickname, Flat Fuck Friday. Ty made a grab for Hospital's body blocked by Sal with a lazy hand on his chest. Seemed to be enough for him to concede the point, though. Not that he took that as a sign to fill me on what I'd missed, though. I sighed out, scratching my head. Fear was getting to me despite all the other important things going on. You love Flat Fuck Friday. Yes. I almost died. Someone else still could if Oswin's warning rang true. And the pressure of me being the only one to do anything about it was causing me distress. Flat Fuck Friday, your beloved, yes. Shooting the back door one last look, I turned around and wandered over to the stairs to just sit down. Can't do it, huh? I looked up surprised at his sudden appearance, and then around as if expecting others to be around given I hadn't heard him approach. Can't do what? I got you stared at the back door. No wonder after what happened you're scared of going outside. No kidding, I feel like I shouldn't be, but... Dave. You almost died. You're allowed to be scared, and honestly, I wouldn't expect anything less. But it's so silly, isn't it? To be scared of just outside? Haas sat down next to me, leaning back to rest on his elbows as he sighed out. Are you scared of outside or of who you ran into? I think both? Maybe? Whining, I rubbed my face and mimicked how he was sitting. I don't think I've had enough coffee to really know. If you're struggling to think... Yes, Dave did trauma dump. Struggling to think, water is going to be better for that. Or, you know, D. At least I ain't the one trying on girl clothes. Say that again and I'll give you more than a black eye. Tyson is going to fucking murder Hoss. I made a face thinking about... I made... fucking leaf juice. Made a face thinking about leaf juice and sitting up a bit straighter. I don't know why you like that stuff so much. Maybe the same reason you like coffee? Yeah, I don't think that's it. Well, come on, let's go somewhere. What do you mean, go somewhere? Don't you have a movie to go watch with the others? It can wait. Why can it wait? Won't they just be sitting there wondering where you went? They're adults, they can figure it out. Leading the way upstairs, Haas took us into the conservatory and ushered me inside. Once I was in the middle of the room, he closed the door behind us and wandered over to the window past me. Come sit over here, you get a nice view of outside from up here. Carefully I did so, sitting next to him near the windowsill and looked out over the forest. It was just a sea of green leaves. While the same thing I had been staring at from the back door, it didn't look nearly as menacing. How's this compared to downstairs? You haven't seen the Flat Fuck Friday meme? Also, Sal is now Flat Fuck Friday. Okay. Look up Flat Fuck Friday. Just look up Flat Fuck Friday. Then meme. Flat Fuck Friday meme. Look that up. You will not be disappointed. I guarantee you will not be disappointed. Exactly, and that is Sal's new name. How's this look compared to downstairs? I'm still a little unsure. Could be the height, though. As in it's helping or making things worse? Different, maybe just different. Well, given how high up we are, there's no way you're in danger from anything down there. You'll have ample time to react if you see anything happen, good or bad. The bi flag? I think he is. Yes. I nodded slowly, taking solace in that, from this vantage point, I could see more and it did feel a little safer than downstairs. Granted, I don't know if that was because I tricked myself into thinking that way or not. So, how are you after last night? I'm doing okay. I slept, had a dream, but still mostly just lost, I think. Recovering, but it's still just a big mess, if that makes sense. Right, at least it wasn't a nightmare. I don't really know what to expect moving forward. Is this just going to be a thing I have to get used to now? Maybe for the next little bit, if it gets real bad, we can consider looking into getting you some therapy for it. Maybe medicine if you need it. Is that smart, though? It's all in my head, so... Haas bumped me lightly on the nose, making me squeak. As I shot him a look while checking if my nose was okay, he shot me one back. Just because it's in your head doesn't make it less real. A whole bunch of stuff can happen in your head, and only your head, too. Doesn't make it any less of a thing you should consider trading if you can. I don't know. It just makes me feel silly. I came away with barely a graze and maybe a little bit of sheer fur. So I should just be thankful, right? Yeah, girly. Is for both of you? Is for both of you? Specifically for you, Haas? Is this for you? It's easier said than done. That makes it sound like you're not being thankful for being alive. I am, I think. Thankful, I mean. It just feels like I have no right to be upset or scared that something almost happened. Why wouldn't you have any right to feel like that? Seems reasonable to me. Because to me it almost feels like Christmas. You get excited for the days leading up to it because it's something you know is going to happen. Or better yet, going to the dentist. You don't like the dentist? No, I mean, I do. The dentist is fine. But I know some people don't like the dentist because of potentially needing to get stuff done to their teeth and it can hurt and stuff. So, how is what happening to you any different? I don't think I really understand. It's all because it just didn't happen, right? If you're excited about winning the lottery and then don't, you're just disappointed. If you're excited for Christmas, you're happy because you got what you wanted. With a sigh, I looked back out the window to the world beyond, my voice quieter when I spoke again. With what happened, it was just fear replaced with fear again. Like I'm still going through that moment. Right, I think I get it. Really? Well, when you disappeared into the forest, a lot of us were upset, confused, and worried about what might have happened. You knew where I went? How? Not right away. We searched the whole house until there was only one place left you could have gone.
So I looked up Flat Fuck Friday and I was hoping for something spicy, but it just showed a flat-ass crocodile.
That's how you know you got it right. That's how you know you got it right, Axel. It's not going to be something spicy. It is a flat-ass crocodile. That is correct. Dean was frustrated that you've done that and was ready to head on in. That was around the time it was getting dark. That was when Benson showed up, or the gunshot. Yeah, the hoss was lost in a daze for a few moments before shaking his head. Right, after you'd been scared off and you were brought inside, I think a good number of us were relieved that you were back more than anything else that was going on, at least immediately. Now that I think about it, where were you? Cowering in the side room under a desk. I turned away from the window, confused. Something wasn't adding up, and I gave him a look to hint I wasn't completely sold on what he'd claimed. It's not a lie. I was in the side room and only came out after the arguing started about you being drugged into unconsciousness. But why were you cowering? Did you see who? No. I only got the details afterwards from Dean and Benson as to what they'd seen chasing you. Then what scared you? The gunshot? Because it was loud? With a sigh, Hoss shook his head. It was his turn to look out the window. Because I thought I was at my old school. Seeing stuff happen on TV or anime or games, it's all fictional, so it's fine, but hearing a gun going off? What about when you and Tyson were searching for the gun? Did that? That's fine too. I can look at guns now, but it's a sound that sets me off. I don't understand. It's kinda why I brought you up here. If you're scared of something, sometimes it's better to just learn more about it or be exposed to it more in a safe environment until you're less scared. What the fuck is going on? Oh, that's right. Yeah, I already said it, but like... Yeah, monosodium glutamate. Yeah, like I already said, I have the Simpsons movie playing. What's going on, Axel? What's going on? That hasn't really been working for Orlando, given how much of a rise Roswell gets out of him with ghosts and stuff. Roswell's certainly doing a good job of trying to get him desensitized, though. I guess that's fair. I'm a little surprised the same sort of thing doesn't happen with you, given how Dad died? Right, I'm sorry, I don't know what's okay to bring up and what isn't. Watching you break down and cry like that was scary in its own way. I'll be okay. Maybe talking about it more will help with that desensitized thing that helped you. Well, alright, given how it happened, I'm just surprised you haven't also developed some sort of aversion to guns. I sorta do, maybe? I haven't been able to go to laser tag because the thought of holding something gun-shaped freaks me out. Or, like when I was stressing out about how Benson died. Okay, that's not something to be ashamed about. Okay. Axel, that's not something to be ashamed about, like... yeah. Like, okay. I guess are we sharing fears now? Because, like, if that's the case, I cannot handle large crowds. That, I mean, like, being outside the large crowd is okay. Like, if I'm performing, which I guess in a sense I've been doing that sort of thing since I was like 10, school performances. Even then, since I was fucking 8, I've been doing that. So, like, it's okay if I'm separated from the crowd in some capacity. But if I'm, like, within the crowd, I can't fucking handle that. Like, I was on public transport once, and I had a fucking panic attack, so, yeah, no. But no. Don't be upset that you can't handle the sound of fireworks. I can handle loud noises. I just can't handle crowds. And even then, that's being within crowds. Being outside of crowds is a different story. Would I have potentially seen it if I didn't say anything? What about the blood? Listen, whatever could have happened didn't because of you. Or at least it's nice to think things ended up that way because of you. Ad? Did stream die? Son of a bitch. God damn it. God damn it. Laptop, you had one job. I'm not. I'm not. Yeah, I'm not. I get like maybe $50 every like 5 months. Yeah, I know. It just gave up like that. I don't know why, but it's back to the story. Listen, whatever could have happened didn't because of you, or at least it's nice to think things ended up that way because of you. Haas, I gotta ask, what really made you move out here? What? Where's this coming from? I'm sorry, it's just, you moved out here because your parents didn't approve of the bisexual thing, or was it the acting thing?
It's time to drink water. It's time to drink water. It's time to drink water. It's time to drink water.
It's kind of both, sort of. I confided in my mom and dad that I had an interest in both guys and girls, and that didn't go over so great. What happened? Mom seemed fine with it, but Dad seemed to feel strongly about it. He didn't say anything outside of saying he hoped I'd settle for a nice girl instead, but that's just the start of things going wrong. Wrong how? Next was the acting gig. It seemed neat, but if I wanted to audition, I'd need to head on over to the other side of the country. Failing that, I figured I could see if I could intern as a techie and do backstage work. That also doesn't sound so bad. I mean, it's sucky, sure, but that same week the school had an intruder. With a gun. Oh, how and... I could tell Haas was getting a little misty-eyed thinking about it and took one of his hands, giving it a reassuring squeeze. They got the guy, so I'm now left wondering if I'll run into them again. But I still remember the sound. Still remember the yelling trying to get under our desk. The sound of gunshots echoing in the hallways, and then the deadly silence that came after while everyone in the classroom just waited. He gasped out a breath before locking his jaw, baring his teeth and quickly shaking his head to look at me again. Once again, we gotta wait for the ad. Like I said, I'm not making bank from these ads. Quite the opposite. Yeah. But no. Like I said, Haas's crying sprite makes me feel things that I haven't felt in years. Oh, because he's recounting his time during a school shooting. He gasped out of breath before locking his jaw, baring his teeth and quickly shaking his head to look at me again. I'm okay. I'm okay. I'm safe. We can change the subject if you want. I don't mind, really. Bit too late for that, Dave. This too helps, kinda. Talking about it, facing it rather than just ignoring it and hoping I don't run into it again. Is that why you're a year older than me? Because you needed a break? Pretty much. Mom was worried for me, and after the counseling wasn't working as well as we hoped, she helped me move away just to try and recover. Gave me an excuse to try that acting job too. But then it fell through. It did, but that's not so bad. It meant that eventually I could re-enroll for school to finish my final year. And if I never did that, we'd never have met. Which I'm glad we did. Oh yeah? Yeah. Mentioned that I had a dream last night and you were in it. Nothing overly interesting happened, just, I don't know, it made me think about how things were since you arrived. And were things good? They were great, even if Orlando didn't like the dancing. What kind of dream was this anyway? Were the others even around? Oh no, just us. I shuffled close with my hand in his. I held on tight and urged him closer still. The scent of his mane still made my nose twitch in the nicest of ways, despite the smell not being overpowering today. Although it ended before we kissed. Dreaming about things in particular? Didn't think you enjoyed it that much. I did, I think. Lacing his fingers through mine, we inched closer together before he dipped up at the first moment and kissed my forehead. Huh? But I thought, if you're lucky, I'll kiss you again, but I think there's someone else you should be kissing first. Oh, you're talking about Dean, right? Saying that if you two are dating, either get his permission or make it clear that you're not dating him first. If you ever have that talk, well, just let me know. I whined, embarrassed, but he held me close to him for a bit as I looked out the window. There was something else, too. What's that? It wasn't fair that everyone except you knew about Dad. It's fine, really. I know now, and that's all that matters. But we're friends, and I guess hiding something that impactful shouldn't be so important. It was important to you for whatever reasons you had. What reasons those are isn't any of my business either, but I guess I'm just curious as to how things are going to be now. Because I finally shared that. You might not have noticed it, but just over breakfast I noticed there's this spark in your eyes now. Maybe it was there before I got to know you, but it's there now. Are you saying my eyes are pretty? I'm saying you've got me curious about the person you're going to become now. And if I'm being completely honest, I'm a little excited to see how that affects the others too. Hopefully in good ways. Almost certainly in good ways. You made Tyson cry after you passed out. Never thought I'd see him smile so happily given he has resting bitch face. Bitch. I have resting bitch face. I actually do have resting bitch face though. But my entire family has resting bitch face. Well, he's a dog, so, you know. Don't let him hear say that. I'm his brother. I'm allowed to be a brat. You ignored everything except us. I guess that's true. We stayed like that for another minute before Hoss stretched out, rubbing my shoulder. How are you feeling about that movie? Maybe it's not as if I have anything better to do. Don't be like that. I'd like it if you were there. I'm sure Tyson and Sal wouldn't mind either. Okay, yeah, I think I'd like that if it was just the four of us. The moment you start adding more people, though, I don't know if I'm just going to feel odd. Don't worry, one step at a time. Another minute of us just looking out the window passed by before Hoss got up, and together we headed on over to the rec room to see how the others were going. The one with the space bunny. What the fuck did we just walk into? Are those fuckers talking about Space Jam?
Huh?
Hi, Flat Fuck Friday. Hi, Woof Woof. Wait, no. I need to come up with a better name for Tyson. Yes, also Haya. I need to come up with a new name for Tyson. Here we go. Son of a bitch. I mean, I'm not wrong. He is, by definition, a son of a bitch. So, I mean, the one with the space bunny. The fuck is that one? As we entered, it seemed like Sal and Tyson were talking about something, both lounging around in beanbags while they seemingly waited for the movie to be put on. Hey guys. What the fuck is this? Have you never seen Space Jam? It's a fucking amazing movie. It's like, you got... Oh, okay. Hey guys. Oh, hey Dave. Here for the movie? Hold up! What were you two talking about? Anime. Great, that's gonna set him off. Myself? I didn't know you're that interested in it to bring it up without me. Tyson did. Was asking me about what I liked and if I had recommendations. Why didn't you ask me, Ty? We have some at the house. Dunno. So I guess I should ask, is it anime we're watching or yes? No! Take a seat, Dave. We can wait for them to burn themselves out before we decide on anything. I took a moment to get myself comfortable and just enjoy a moment where the people around me were happy. It was nice. Slowly easing back into things as if things were back to normal. So, what are we watching? Do we have a movie in mind, or we have options? Plenty of anime to watch. Honestly, surprising just how much there is in the way of genre coverage. If you're rich, why not just download or buy everything just because you can, right? I don't know, that seems kind of wasteful, doesn't it? Dave has a point, unless they have a boat hidden somewhere. Rich people have boats. We're on a mountain, though. They probably just have it stashed somewhere that it actually gets some use. Pretty far from the ocean, but maybe there's a lake nearby. A lake wouldn't be bad to swim in, or go fishing. That's great enough, but this isn't helping us to decide what anime we're watching. We're not watching anime, Hoss. Why not? Because he said so, I'm guessing. Kinda wanna watch that one movie that... Wait, was it one movie or two? I don't know what movie he's talking about. Any ideas, Tyson? No clue. Come on, you know the one that's like with the people and they go and do the thing with the ring. If we're watching that one, should I go get Roswell? Huh? Why Roswell? No, I don't think he means that one, Hoss. I don't think Dave is talking about anything with wrestling involved either. No, come on, Ty, we've watched that one before. Hoss, he's so sad. His blank expression quickly made me realize that he had absolutely no clue as to what I was talking about. Can I have a clue? It's, not the space one. The fuck? Did they make a space movie with a ring in it? I thought that was a video game. No, there were things and... God, what did they do with the ring in that movie? Volcano? Yeah, Volcano! I wanna watch that movie. Oh, fuck, they're talking about Lord of the Rings. I wanna watch that movie. Oh! That's something like 3 movies. That's going to eat up literally the rest of the day if we watch all of them in order. Is that a problem? As long as we don't tell Dean or Orlando. They both love those movies. We could just wait until we're all ready to watch a movie together and watch them then. Fuck it, if they like those movies and they've seen them before, they can watch them in their own time. You sure that's okay? Worst case scenario, we can just blame you if they get all uppity about missing out on the movie. They had their chance. Wow, rude. But if I'm getting blamed for watching something I want to watch, then we better watch it. Alternatively, we could just watch something else. Well, it's either this or anime, so... That's a lot of the anime, then. We're not watching anime! For the rest of the afternoon, we enjoyed watching movies. After the first, we took a break for snacks before getting right back into it. But then we were right back to it soon after, and before I knew it, we were done. Hoss, stabbed downstairs in the gym. Heroism. What? The fact that I was giggling? Would you prefer I wheeze? Turn into Carl Weezer. Evil scheming Weezered laugh. Hoss? He was sitting on the edge of his bed with his phone, staring at it as if wanting something to happen. Yeah? I need you to tell me it's not my fault. I need to hear that I didn't doom us all by bringing... Collapsed on the ground near the door and whined, clutching my chest. Haas wandered over and gently closed the door behind me, and I flicked off the light before helping me to my feet. Can you wear a tie? For me? Hey, alright, of course this isn't your fault. But how are we meant to get home? We'll find a way. But you're staying in here with me tonight. I am? You came into my room, you tell me. I'm only assuming that's why you're here after all. Only if that's okay, I just don't feel like I want to be in my room by myself. Not tonight. Gently, he guided me by the hand over to the bed, letting go so I could climb under the covers with him right behind me. Thanks, Haas. I should be alright now. But my mind is still racing as to what's going to be happening this morning. Like a bad Christmas? Something like that, yeah. Bracing himself on his elbows, he rolled over so he was hovering over me, his face inches away from mine. Maybe this will keep your mind off it. Started off slow and gentle, but he parted my mouth with his before deepening the kiss by cradling my neck with his hand. I whimpered and whined into his mouth, not because I wasn't enjoying it, but maybe it was something deep down triggering in me because he was a lion. Maybe it was just because it was something I needed in the moment. His whiskers tickled my nose, the way he rumbled as he moved to be able to rub my chest, hunched over me. I don't want to bite that bit of chest fluff, oh no. When he finally broke away, I was out of breath, but my mind was clear of the worry that had filled it before. Better? His voice was quiet in the dark, and I nodded, and as I nodded, he nuzzled me gently before taking up the spot behind me in the bed, rolling me over to make me the little spoon. Thank you, Haas. Don't worry about it, Dave. Sweet dreams. Sighing out, I rested back against him, and sure enough, I was out like a light soon after. Ah, the Scrunklies. I sat up and looked over to Haas, who was curled up with his back facing me. It seemed at some point during the night we'd shifted away from one another. It was bad that the first thought I had looked at him was how much I wanted to kiss him again. Could have been the taste of him on my tongue, or just how I felt after that left me wanting more. But even beyond that, he'd been honest and open with me. Even about not being honest, and that felt special to me somehow. Made me feel trusted. As funny as it was to me that Haas and Tide started becoming friends, what I felt for Haas was kinda similar to what I had with Tyson, but different. A good different, I think. Rolling out of bed, I put on some clothes. I needed to clear my head if I was going to have any chance of getting back to sleep. Ah, shit, the movie ended. The fucking movie that I had on just ended. God damn, now I'm in darkness. Oh well. Oh shit. My eyes went to Tyson, wondering where he'd go. It seemed Haas knew where my mind was at, near immediately scratching his chin. Although not all of us have a partner, so someone's going to need to group up as 3 at the very least. You and Dean don't mind Tyson tagging along, right, Ralswell?
I guess that's fine.
Looking across to Tyson, his attention was already on Dean, the pair of them nodding to one another. Alright. Cool. Followed close behind Haas, lingering only a couple steps behind, unsure of what to say. Seemed as though he had an idea of where he wanted to go, and wordlessly I followed him upstairs. Haas, can we talk? I was already closing the door behind me for the privacy when I noticed him going to the bookshelf, opening the passage to the library. He seemed to just watch me, quirking an eyebrow as if waiting for me to do or say something. So, approaching carefully, fiddling with my fingers as I stopped him before I glanced down the passage he'd opened up. Those medals, right? Figured we'd have a look in the library. After all, don't think anyone's given that place a proper look, right? I guess not, no, but separate to that, I wanted to ask something. Sure, what's up? Do you like me? What? Of course I like you. I mean, as more than just a friend, yesterday and then last night, I'm not really sure where we stand. I don't understand. Did something happen? You kissed me last night. You kissed me after you said you wouldn't until after I'd spoken to Dean or whatever. And did you? If I did, I hadn't told you yet. He sighed out, running his hand through his mane. It's complicated. Complicated how? I bet I could understand if you tried explaining it. You sure about that? Of all the things that has happened so far, why does this have to be the thing that becomes the exception? We talked yesterday and just... I don't know. I liked what happened, I've been thinking about you a lot, and it's just confusing. Yeah, that's my fault. I'm sorry. I really shouldn't have kissed you before bed. Okay, but why did you? Don't get me wrong. It's what I needed, and it calmed me down, so it can't be a bad thing, right? That's just it. You knew what you wanted or needed, or maybe both. I understood that and did what I assumed was the right call. And that's really all there was to it? Wanted a kiss, and you just figured you'd help me out, as a friend? No kidding about being a brat, although I figured that was exclusive to Dyson. He threw his arms up, groaning. Fine, there was more to it, but I don't want to be known as a guy that messed our friendship circle up by trying to weasel in on someone else's prospective date. Is this what they call a bro code? It's what they called about being a decent person. Hell, I haven't even talked to Dean about pursuing you yet. What he said made me do a double take. Yet? You were planning to? Look, I know the others have a hard time understanding that pushing you towards Dean may not necessarily be a good thing. It's to say someone else doesn't potentially want a shot. What about your feelings? But trailing off, I wasn't sure what to say. Sure, Orlando had encouraged it a whole bunch, but how often had it come up with the others? When I say I like you? Yeah. I like you enough that I want to date you. I was having a stupid grin on my face from how he started to look at me. What's that look for? It's just nice to hear, especially because, like, I felt like we've been getting closer. And I'm glad, but think about it some more for me. That's what you decide, then. You're going to have to let Dean know so he can be let down easily as opposed to it being a big mess, alright? Sure, but I'm sorry for asking this. You're not lying, right? No, why would I lie about that? Why would you lie about a lot of things you do? I just don't want to be let down. My track record isn't great, I know, but if you want to believe me this time, I promise it's the truth. Okay. What? Pup. Guys, help me out here. We stood staring at one another for a bit, neither of us saying a word, assuming the other would talk first. Sure enough, though, it was him that broke the silence before turning away. Just think on it. If that's what you decide, get back to me on it, alright? With that, he disappeared into the dark of the passage. We were meant to stick together, and given he had a point about searching for the medals, I wandered on in too. The library was much like I remembered it from the other times I was there. Cold. Dark. Plus that old book smell, although I didn't mind that one so much. The dust, though, was another story. I like the new book smell. Oh god, that just reminded me of something. I found it, like, a couple months ago, I found a t-shirt that I'd been looking for. I lost it again, but I found a t-shirt. And it smelled like my fucking childhood. I don't know how to describe it. It smelled like a fucking mixture of cardboard and dust. Like a mixture of cardboard, new shoe smell, and dust. That's what it smelled like. Like, and maybe a little bit of cobwebs. That's what it smelled like, and it smelled like my fucking childhood. Fucking cardboard boxes and dust and shit. Random smell that makes you travel in time. Fucking right. Followed Haas down the stairs to where I had talked with Oswin, eyes looking across to the floor he'd emerged through. Doing alright? Yeah, just thinking. Dave, this whole thing was meant to stop you overthinking things. I know, but just thinking about the vault with the door like it just there makes it hard. Yeah, but maybe try and ignore it. Look around for a medal, maybe. I was half paying attention, eyes still locked on the door. Yeah, that's probably a good idea. He placed a hand on my shoulder and I jumped, almost squeaking as he did so. Hang on, I'm putting on some bracelets because I want to. Fucking placed a hand on my shoulder and I jumped, almost squeaking as he did so. I mean it, go over to that bookshelf over there and start looking. Grumbling, I wandered over and looked over the books, not really sure what I was looking for. How will we ever know what we're looking for? A medal should probably stand out among all these books, right? You're right, it should, but maybe consider this like cleaning your room. Rearrange stuff, see what goes where. Maybe something will turn up. But my room is tidy already. Dyson says otherwise. Yeah, well, his room is worse. At least I make my bed. And everything else, making one's bed should be a baseline, Dave. I have a lot of stuff is all. Sure, maybe I shove a bunch of it under my bed, but at least you can't see the mess, it's fine. At least if you can't see the mess, it's fine, right? Which kinda makes me wonder how these medals have been hidden, right? You found Doris on her pumpkin after all, why hide it there of all places? Maybe they just dropped it when they planted the pumpkin? And Aquarius in the edge maze? How'd you even lose that? Benson knew where it was, so these things just can't be lost, right? I guess not. I knew what he was doing, but it was working. Keeping me talking about the medals was drawing my focus away from the door. As much as now thinking about home wasn't much of an improvement. I don't know, Haas, this whole thing just kinda, right? I really don't. So, Roswell and Benson put together the scavenger hunt as some fun thing for us to do. If Benson knew that some of these were unable to be found just because they were in dumb locations, why bother? Got me there. And another thing, why is it important to still be looking for them now when it was meant to just be a game? Don't want to look for them after all? That's not it, I just wish I knew why they were so important. Beyond that, getting the vault door open at least. I turned while I heard him chuckling, shaking his head. It wouldn't surprise me if they're not important at all. After all, why make a set of them based on the Zodiac? Why else would you make a set out of it? Well, cardinal sins maybe, the 4 elements, 5 depending on where in the world you look. Major arcana perhaps? Sure, but why would you make a set of anything based on those two? They're fun. People like putting things into groups. If the group is already pre-established, and it's all the easier. What about fruit? What about fruit? As in a sorting group? Sure, fruit salad is a bunch of different things in one set, right? But I don't think fruit salad is all that rigid in its set after all. You could omit any given fruit in favor of another and it still count. I grimaced, thinking back to the bookshelf I was looking through and running my hands over the spines of what books I'd found myself in front of. So the fact that their zodiacs doesn't matter, it's just a thing they chose to theme them after? Maybe, maybe not. A bunch of people are fascinated by the stars after all. The expanse of space and whatever. Or maybe they just like knowing what their day is going to be like. You didn't jump on me reading your horoscope out to you on the bus, so I guess you're not one of those people. I guess not. I smiled a little, thinking back to when we got here. Thinking back to when this was just a normal vacation without anything bad happening. We were settling in, and gradually my mind crept forward until things started to go sour. Haas had his hand on my shoulder while I was staring at the floor. I had no idea how long I'd been zoning out, but he just waited until I came back to reality. What's wrong? Just thinking. This house and everything that's gone on so far is just... I couldn't put it into words, but I looked back at Haas with a slight frown. You probably know this house better than any of us, right? Because of that thing? Clearwater? Yeah. With a sigh, he leaned back against the bookshelf and stuck his hand in his pockets. I know the things I did now back then. Well, things wouldn't have panned out differently. Panned out different, I think. Like what? Well, you know that Benson wasn't the owner, at least. When we were there to shoot, he was just in normal clothes, no vest or anything. Wouldn't have picked him as a butler. I gave him a wary look, immediately wondering where Osmond was then. To be fair, I wasn't really thinking about any of that stuff. On the back of moving away and landing the gig, I was relaxed and happy for the first time in a long time. I had to question it. But then it all went south. Right. Me and the other guy on set, well, we were the first ones to show for the actual cast anyway. Checking the place out. We both seemed stoked that we'd get to be on the big screen or even just TV. What happened to him? No idea. Much like me, I was disappointed when the whole thing got called off. Not sure if I told you or not, but he might have been one of Dean's cousins, maybe? What makes you say that? Fairly large black bear, a few years older than me too, hell. Could have been Dean if I hadn't heard about what Dean was like. So, all bears are related? Shot him a cheeky grin, poking my tongue out. Fine, call me a racist, but there's some sort of family resemblance, I swear. Way to check would be to see if Dean has a relative named Dominic, and if the answer is no, then we're golden, right? He likes talking about his family a bunch, but nothing about a relative maybe being on TV has come up yet. And maybe that's a sign. But still, Benson owning the place, really? Would I lie to you about that? Yes. Words were out of my mouth before I realized what I'd said, and clamped a hand over my muzzle, ears drooping soon after. Sorry. No, I get it, but when I arrived here the first time, no butler. Hell, no Osmond either. Trust me, I would have asked Roswell about his relatives a lot harder had I known if the guy that owned the place was a bore. I nodded slowly, turning back to the bookcase. And then in all that, you found the library. But you know all that already. That scared the shit out of me. Yeah. For the next little bit, we continued to sift through books, working through the shelves until eventually I stopped when Haas sighed out. And after all this is over, I don't know what I'll end up doing. It's kind of put a dampener on things. In what way? Well, I know I'm gonna feel better maybe avoiding mountains for a while. Maybe spend more time in the city. Or all that though, depending on how bad things get, go and seek out a therapist. Do you think I should do the same? Honestly, you would have benefited from one a long time ago. So yes, not only think you should do the same, I'll absolutely go with you as support if you're not sure. It's that good, huh? There's a bunch of reasons that there's a whole medical field about it after all. If you're curious, maybe one of the books will have something you can read to inform yourself. I guess it couldn't hurt to look. It was getting close to lunch, but I'd found a book and tried reading in the dark. Not that I got very far with how much I was straining my eyes. There, bussy. Instead, I used it as a pillow and stared at the vault door off to the side, scowling at it as if wanting it to move. I could have been like that for an hour, if not more, just zoned out of my thoughts. Dave? Yeah? Book going alright? Because I found something you might want to see. It's a good pillow. He wandered around in front of me, quirking a brow. Now what I mind, but given the light, no surprise. Don't need light to see this, though. We're gonna leave off here tonight. Cliffhanger. Ooh. Fucking love doing cliffhangers. They're fun. Mountain trauma is real. It is. All trauma is real. Anyways, stay safe. Have a good night. And I will see you all tomorrow.